I am the one and only Eagle Double T, and in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at why Nintendo has always been better than the other consoles of its generation. This video is going to be spanned from 5th gen to 8th gen, so let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and skip the NES generation since there was basically no competition, and the Super Nintendo generation since its only competitor was really the Sega Genesis, and it beat the Sega Genesis. So let's start with the PlayStation and the N64. Yeah, the PlayStation did sell a lot more than the N64, but that doesn't mean it's better. The N64, for example, has a better controller. It is not the traditional shape of a controller, and PlayStation did kind of set the standards for modernized controllers, but the N64 controller has a better gamepad, better buttons, it's more comfortable, the button triggers are much better, it was much more innovative, and it had a joystick. Now they did eventually release the DualShock, which had 2 joysticks, but they had to learn from Nintendo. Also, the PlayStation had like a select few games that were good. Like it had a lot of games, but they were pretty much all crap. And the PlayStation's graphics were horrendous. The N64, Super Mario 64 alone makes this console a better choice than the PlayStation. With great Legend of Zelda games, and Star Fox 64, Kirby, and the Crystal Shards, it's all there, it's all much better. It had better graphics. This was 32-bit, this was 64-bit. It had the memory expansion, the Rumble Pack. Now, the PlayStation did use discs, but the N64 used cartridges. Now, the thing about cartridges is they can't hold as much game data, but they load way faster. So, really, overall, the N64 was a much better choice. Now, when it gets into the 6th gen, that's when the competition really starts to get hot. The GameCube did not only have to battle the PlayStation 2, but the Xbox and the Dreamcast. Now, when it comes to the controllers, the GameCube is a better controller. It has a better joystick, better gamepad. They released a wireless Wavebird. PS2 had no Wavebird. Better, even the C-Stick is better, because those joysticks are horrible. They feel cheap and plasticky. Better button layout. When it comes to these buttons, it's really good for like Metroid Prime. Better triggers, they like melted into your hands. The whole controller melts into your hands. It's a really good controller. PS2, it doesn't fit into bigger size hands like mine. I mean, it fits into like midget baby's hands. It's just not a good controller. The GameCube has better graphics. The Game Boy player. 4 controller ports. It did use smaller discs, but they did load faster. And not only that, but there's really not that big of a difference because, I mean, Metroid Prime was like as big as Grand Theft Auto 3. If you've actually played Metroid Prime. So, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. PS2, 2 controller ports. It just doesn't look appealing. I mean, the GameCube does look kind of babyish to some people, but like the slim PS2, it's actually too thin. The original PS2 was too fat. Now, I will give it points for having 2 USB ports, but, you know, back then you couldn't really do a whole lot with that. The PS2 had like 2 really good series of games, Guitar Hero 2 and Grand Theft Auto. Or Guitar Hero and Grand Theft Auto. GameCube had Metroid Prime 2. It was better for Call of Duty because it has more of a 360 layout. Sonic Mega Collection. And Super Mario Sunshine. So, overall, the GameCube was the best out of the 6th generation. Now, when you get into the 7th gen, the 360, it's better than the PS3. The PS3 sucks. This is a very tight comparison because the 360, it's a great console. The Wii, though, has full backwards compatibility with the GameCube. The controller ports, the memory card slots, and it could take the games. The 360, I don't think had any backwards compatibility. The Wii Remote, first motion controller to actually work right, because, I mean, it certainly wasn't the Xbox Kinect or the PlayStation Move. You could put the Wii Motion Plus for more enhancements. It was overall a better controller. You could also plug in the Nunchuck for more precise gameplay with games like Call of Duty, Super Mario Galaxy for games that required it. So the Wii Remote actually works. The 360 controller is an excellent controller also. I mean, it's often thought to be the best controller of all time. I mean, it's almost flawless. It's all great. Now, the Wii is much smaller than the 360. Here, I have a 2015 one. It is a slim version. And if you compare the Wii to it, yeah. So, no size comparison there. The Wii is much smaller. The Wii is more energy efficient, and it doesn't red ring or completely overheat and melt whatever's sitting on top of it. You could fry an egg on this thing. When it comes to the games, the Wii did have some mature games. I mean, it did have Call of Duty and Mortal Kombat, but who really played Call of Duty on the Wii? Wii Sports Resorts, probably the most family-friendly game ever. I mean, me and my family enjoy playing it. Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Kart Wii, which beat all other racing games on the 360. Super Mario Bros. Wii, the best 2D game out of that whole generation. X-Men Origins Wolverine, great action-adventure game. And even some older Kirby games. So, I mean, it was great. It's really tight, but I would say that the backwards compatibility, you know, it does put the Wii a little bit forward. But the 360, it's more mature. I mean, you got Assassin's Creed, GTA 5, and, like, Black Ops 2, stuff like that. But overall, I'd say the Wii is better. Now, when it comes to the 8th generation, the PS4 made a lot of improvements over the previous PlayStations. Nintendo kind of stayed stagnant or went below. But the Wii U is still better. It has better, first-party exclusives, New Super Mario Bros. U, Smash Bros., Super Mario Maker, Mario Kart 8, as well as other great games. The controller, it has the gamepad, great controller. I mean, it doesn't have very much battery life, but neither does the DualShock 4 at all. Built-in face cam, motion controllers, rechargeable. So it really is a great controller. Don't want to use the gamepad? That's fine. The Wii U Pro controller got you covered. It's also better than the DualShock 4. Now, when it comes to the PlayStation, it may have games like the newer games like Black Ops 3, GTA 5. It has learned to have better exclusives like Uncharted. There's also Destiny, Mortal Kombat, better sports stick games. The controller, horrible triggers, horrible bumpers, horrible gamepad, horrible joysticks. Buttons are okay. It is more comfortable, but it's still not as good as like the gamepad or the Pro controller. So, overall, Nintendo is a little bit better than the PlayStation. And one thing I want to say is that the Wii U, it has Black Ops 2. So, I mean, you can't say that the Wii U has no mature games, no Call of Duty or anything. Yeah, I mean, it got Call of Duty Ghosts and Black Ops 2, which really were the best Call of Duties that they made. So, because Black Ops 3 certainly ain't it. The console itself, 2 USB ports. 4. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. The Wii U can output an HDMI and AV. So you're not completely screwed if you have an older TV, like my TV. The console itself for the Wii U is much, much smaller than PS4. PS4, it's more stylish. The graphics are much better. But I'm going to tell you, if you have both consoles hooked up to an HD TV with the HDMI cords, you compare Mario Kart 8 to, let me think, Black Ops 3, which has some of the best graphics of a game ever made. There's really not that much of a difference. I'm being completely honest. So, yeah. But overall, the Wii U is better than the PS4. Nintendo sales for most consoles may not be as good as Xbox or PlayStation, but Nintendo really is better. And if you're a Nintendo fan, you'll understand. It really is better. Now, it may be stretching it with some consoles, like the 360 and the Wii, but Nintendo, if you look at it, will always come out on top. Don't forget to subscribe, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and you agree with me. I am the one and only Eagle Double T signing off. Goodbye.